What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you are new. My name is Michael Cruz, and welcome to the Wrestle-MaGiC podcast, or the Mixed Nuts channel, the last video on the Mixed Nuts channel. Now, I've been waiting for this for a while. The Mixed Nuts channel is something that we started, me and my group of friends started way back. Well, not way back, it was actually just like midway through senior year of high school. And we started to make a podcast channel, have a lot of talks about random things, and we've done that. We did a couple of those. And it wasn't really going anywhere, and then things just dropped when school started and work started and everything just started all at once. And I haven't really seen a lot of them in recent times. So I figured, since I'm not around them a lot and we can't regularly post content, to tear down the Mixed Nuts channel. I will be deleting it in about a month or so. So this is the last video going up on there. But if you want to see any of the old videos, any of like the 16 subscribers or any of the couple 10, 50 people, whoever have watched stuff on that channel, if you want to see the stuff that's on that channel, by all means go see it. Take some time with it, download it if you really must. But after a month, I'm deleting it and taking it down and just focusing on this primary channel and maybe a secondary channel to it here and there. So this is the first of the Wrestle-MaGiC channel. Now, the reason I came up with that name is my initial spell MGC, which is the word magic, except if you take the A and the I out. If you look at the logo in front of you, you take the A and the I out, it's my initials, but the MGC capitalized. It's a weird thing. So the Wrestle-MaGiC podcast, and this is going to be talking about wrestling. Mainly WWE stuff, but I'll fit in like stuff here and there. Normally, Raw or SmackDown are eventually going to get their own shows, their own reviews. But as of right now, at least starting this, I started a little bit late, so I'm just going to do a quick review of everything, like snap through everything. The three main points of talking this week, which are SmackDown, Raw, and the Royal Rumble. Now, we'll talk about all those in a minute. But not only are we going to have reviews every week, trying maybe on Fridays to have them every week, but we're also going to have recaps of a pay-per-view and the shows for each week. Then we are also going to have me playing wrestling games. I like playing the older wrestling games, so I'm going to play like the old SmackDown vs. Raw games or the WWE 2K games, depending, and do the story modes for that. Or I might surprise you with a couple random ones that might not be necessarily great, but enough to try at least the story modes for. Stay tuned for that. And also, we are starting a brand new series called the What If series, but I will tell you more about that as time progresses. Now, we are going into the wrestling review. Now that all that's out of the way, let's continue. And again, one more thing before we go. I will have a face cam. I do have a face cam now. I just need to hook it up, and I look like trash, and I don't have a nice set or anything. So right now, it's just audio and the pictures. If I'm somewhere that I don't need to show where I'm at, or if it looks like a mess, I won't be showing my face, and I'll just do the pictures like this. But for right now, a camera is in the works, and we are doing that. So let's jump right in to the Royal Rumble. To be honest, I missed the first match of the pre-show, so I'm not going to talk about it a lot. 6-woman tag team match. All I'm going to say is that I'm really surprised. I'm not surprised that the Faces won, but at the same time I am, because Mickie James came back, and I figured she would get a win, but they didn't. Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Naomi defeated Alexa Bliss, Natalya, and Mickie James, with Naomi beating Alexa Bliss, setting up their feud. In a pretty good match, I watched Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Now, I want to backtrack for a minute. When I watched the Royal Rumble, I watched it with a group of one of my best friends, Brad, my fiance, and my little brother and his friend, and we all did this Royal Rumble party where we each picked a number 1 to 30 and guessed on the matches and everything, and whoever got the most predictions right, and had their number picked that won the Rumble would win the entire game. And you got like a toy championship belt and a lot of the cool glass bottle pops from like B.A. Sweetie. So we got all those. I ended up tying with my little brother's friend Aiden, and with 5 points apiece. But it was a really fun time. I want to eventually have more people, eventually do a live stream, which will be great. But anyways, we were watching these matches all together. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson defeating Cesaro and Sheamus. I was really confused when the referee got bro kicked and there wasn't a immediate disqualification. But I guess that's what the second referee is for. It's like, oh, this one's knocked out, I'll just go take over. No need to disqualify him. Keep going. So, surprised to see that. But anyways, good job. Really good to see the club actually get some titles in WWE and actually be pushed pretty strong. Nia Jax completely squashing Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks barely got any offense in, but Nia Jax completely destroyed her, making Nia look strong, and Sasha looks pretty weak, and especially what happens on Raw, but we'll talk about that in a moment. The Raw Women's Championship match opens the show. The main card with Charlotte Flair defeating Bayley. A nasty spot by Charlotte hitting the natural selection on Bayley, which is really this kind of stuff I like. But Charlotte beating Bayley, that was a really brutal spot, a really good match. Really great to see them open. The one thing that I have a problem with, though, a slight problem with, is the Just Bayley thing. I don't know where it's going to go, so it's just like teetering on the edge of her looking too normal. Going with the whole like Daniel Bryan underdog story thing, but we'll see where it goes. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship with Chris Jericho suspended in a shark cage and there was no disqualification. Well, I'm happy that Roman did not win. I'm not a Roman hater, but I really think that it's best to keep the title on Owens. Roman Reigns did not need it right now. He needs it at a point where it's a high point in his career, whether that be him being a heel or whether he's beloved by the fans, whichever one happens first. So, another caveat for that is that I really was hoping to see Kevin Owens win by himself for a change. Every championship defense now, it's been him winning with the help of somebody, whether it be Chris Jericho or Triple H or the man who saved him tonight, Braun Strowman. That's right, Braun Strowman came out and pulled Roman Reigns out of under the ring from hitting a spear, slammed him on the announce table, slammed him through another table, and let Kevin Owens pin him for the win. Also, the selling was a bit rough on Roman Reigns' part. I mean, he sold getting hit, but he should have been pinned after the brass knuckles spot, if that was the case. And I really want to see Kevin Owens win by himself for a change, but regardless, Kevin Owens won. He is still the Universal Champion. And Braun Strowman's reasoning for it was kind of confusing up until the next night, which we will see when we talk about Raw. The Cruiserweight Championship match, Neville versus Rich Swann. Neville finally winning the Cruiserweight Championship after not long in the Cruiserweight division. Neville, I personally think he deserves it, but that was because Rich Swann had a pretty decent run as champion, but the Cruiserweights are just like overall tanking on Raw, and they need to try to hit the reset button, or they need to do something similar to Divas Revolution, where the Women's Revolution, where the women started off as just names, and then they build into characters, and I think that's what we're seeing here, but we just have to wait and see. WWE Championship match, John Cena versus AJ Styles. Match of the night by far. This topped their SummerSlam match. AJ Styles and John Cena. I really thought Cena was turning heel at some point here. Because Cena's face, when he would hit some of the clotheslines in that match, the anger and frustration on his face, I felt that's what they were building towards. And brutal back and forth. I'm pretty sure it took 4 AAs, one in the beginning, a Super AA, and 2 back-to-back to beat AJ Styles. And that's not burying AJ Styles by any means. That makes him look strong. And Cena looks like he'll be a transitional champion due to who won the Rumble, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But John Cena, good to see him win his 16th. Now all we need to do is wait till he gets that 17th. That's all we got to do. Great work, both things. And like I said, I thought it was building towards a heel turn. But then, just like plain old John, he went out to the crowd and he hugged the small child after the match. And it seems like a lot of people forgot that. That kind of cemented to me that he's got to stay face for a while. Either that or that's one of his last moments being that type of the face that people enjoy. And finally, the Royal Rumble match. Now, here are the good things. Here are the good things and then the bad things, and then I'll let you know. Good things are that a lot of the eliminations, apart from a few, made the people eliminated look strong. Now, we had 29 eliminations, just like every Rumble, but they were given to people who needed to look strong. Undertaker, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar each had a lot of eliminations. Baron Corbin eliminating Braun Strowman for that fact, eliminating, I'm pretty sure, 7 people. Baron Corbin eliminating Braun Strowman in a whiplash fashion, whipping him over the top rope. Undertaker, Goldberg, and Brock Lesnar all eliminating each other. Goldberg and Brock Lesnar being in the ring with all of 22 seconds. That's beautiful. The people who needed to look strong, look strong. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt doing a good job with the Wyatt family thing. Luke Harper almost nailing Bray Wyatt with his sister Abigail. A lot of these mini moments I really like. Ty Dillinger coming out at number 10, which a lot of people thought it was too good to be true, but Ty Dillinger made it a perfect moment, and the crowd lost it. Here are the cons. Seth Rollins, the night before a takeover, came out to call out Triple H, and from this he's banned from the Rumble, and still there was not even mention of him from what I saw on the show. They might have mentioned him once. Stephanie might have mentioned him in a promo, but other than that, there was no real mention of Seth Rollins, and it kind of sucks now that he's injured, but we'll talk about why he's injured later on. I keep saying that a lot, but this segues. Another problem was the lack of surprise entrance for the match itself. We had, of the people who were not announced for the match, we had people like Mark Henry, Kalisto, Apollo Crews, and we had Ty Dillinger. That was a good one. We had, who else did we have? That Jack Gallagher. And just a bunch of other people who weren't necessarily announced for the match, but then showed up anyways. And the last one, number 30, oh my gosh, after so much anticipation for number 30, everybody thinking, oh, is it going to be Samoa Joe? Is it going to be Finn Balor? Is it going to be, Kurt Angle? We got Roman Reigns. The issue with that is that, did Roman Reigns have a number to begin with, or did they just hold off on number 30 to begin with? Because that would mean he believed that so little in himself for the Universal title match that he went and picked the number out just in case he lost. So what is he going to do with the number if he won? Oh, I'm going to win the Universal title, win the Rumble, win the WWE title. I'm going to have all the titles, and my dad, Vince McMahon, will be proud of me. No. It doesn't make a lot of sense when you think about it. And it caused the crowd to absolutely hate it. Anytime he touched anybody, The Undertaker, when he eliminated The Undertaker, it was a cool moment, but it didn't need to happen there. There were other ways to go about it. Eliminating Undertaker in the Rumble was not one of them. Unless this leads to a Roman heel turn, this shouldn't have happened. But there's a good thing about it. Now, see, had anybody else that was a big name come out at number 30 and had to face off against eventual winner Randy Orton, spoiler, Randy Orton won the Rumble. If anybody else had come out, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and the plan was for Randy Orton to win that Rumble, then people would have been booing Randy, and it would be a negative reaction to the Royal Rumble, just like it had been for the past couple years. But by sending Roman out and getting Roman sent over the top rope to be the last one eliminated, Randy Orton got a huge pop. And the only reason he got that pop, he wouldn't have gotten that much of a pop had Roman Reigns not been there. So it might have been WWE playing smart. It might have just been them trolling the fans. Regardless, I think it was an okay move. It's not enough to kill the Rumble completely. It killed my anticipation for it, and the lack of suppliers' entrance killed my anticipation for it. But in terms of the show, it was a really good show overall. So I do not have a problem with how the Rumble ended. I don't have a problem with how the Rumble was spaced out. Everything was given room to breathe. 2 minutes between entrances. So they claim. But regardless, everything was given room to breathe. And I'm actually very satisfied with the Rumble. And that is... how do I put this? It's really frustrated me sometimes when people just put everything on from the Royal Rumble just based on one moment. And the rest of the show was good. And that's all I got to say about that. So, moving on to Monday Night Raw, the Raw after the Rumble, one of the best Raws that they ever had. It was a really good show. That was a nice follow-up to the Rumble. The first things first, Kevin Owens and Jericho come out and talk about how they're both still the champions. Kevin Owens is still the Universal Champion, and Chris Jericho is the United States Champion. Sorry, I was just drinking something here. Braun Strowman interrupts him, and he said, "Remember a while back you offered me a title shot?" And Kevin Owens is like, "I don't remember that." Roll the footage, and he did. He said that after he beats Roman, he'll get him a title shot. A very smart continuity by WWE. So Braun Strowman and Chris Jericho is made later in the night. Not Braun Strowman and Chris Jericho. Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship. And Chris Jericho said he would have to fight Sami Zayn in a title match, which Sami Zayn won with a haluva kick. A really good match. Hats off to Sami Zayn. People keep saying they're burying him, but both Sami Zayn and Chris Jericho had a really long time in the Rumble. Sami Zayn did a really fine showing here. There's no way they're burying him. They're just making him look goofy, and I think it's kind of funny, but awkwardly funny. Tony Nese defeated Mustafa Ali in a match, and then a really awkward interview from Austin Aries afterwards. I really hope this is not an Austin Aries Tony Nese thing for 205 Live or the Cruiserweight Division, because I really think Austin Aries could probably just go straight to the main event scene and be completely fine with it. The main event Cruiserweight match for the title. But regardless, let's just see where this goes. I'm willing to give anything a open mind. Stephanie McMahon and Seth Rollins go face to face in a moment that's kind of like a backstage segment. Kind of creepy when Seth Rollins said, "What would happen when I go to one of your board of directors meetings and mess up that looking for Triple H. What happens when I go to your house and one of your little kids answer the doors? It's kind of a heelish thing to say, kind of like scary, but this is the most on fire I've seen Rollins in a long time. And then Stephanie tells Seth, I lied. Triple H is on his way, setting up the segment for the end of the night. Charlotte, I forgot who won this match. Charlotte, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson, aka The Club, face Shea Morrow and Bayley in a 6-person tag match. And the faces won. I think I really missed this match. I wasn't paying attention to this match, but that was kind of like one of the lulls throughout Raw. Rich Swann and Neville got into a confrontation. Neville was talking about how he's officially the king of the cruiserweights. Rich Swann comes to congratulate him. Neville said he doesn't want his respect, and they get into a fight. And Neville just was sent running with Rich Swann looking on top. Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman get into their title match, but right as Braun Strowman was entering the ring and Chris Jericho was on commentary, Braun Strowman kicks the crap out of Chris Jericho and sends him through the announce table, and Kevin Owens just looks terrified. And the rest of the match, when the match starts, is Kevin Owens getting thrown around and selling for Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman really looked like a monster. But in the end, as predictable, Roman Reigns came and ruined the match, making Braun hit with a spear off the stairs, which looks pretty cool actually, and then speared Kevin Owens for good measure. But as Reigns was walking away, Braun Strowman was already standing. You know he means business, and I'm really looking forward to see what happens at Fastlane between the two. I assume they fight there before one of them goes off to face The Undertaker. And a surprise twist, a car pulls into the parking lot, and we all think it's Triple H, but no, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out, and Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out to the ring and issue a challenge to Goldberg at WrestleMania. One of the best Paul Heyman promos during this feud with Goldberg. Since the feud with Goldberg started, he'd been kind of floundering a bit, but this is a really strong showing for Paul Heyman, and the simple phrase, yeah, but, was a really good background to that. Nia and Sasha face in a rematch from the night before, except Sasha got destroyed in quicker time, and the bell just stopped randomly for some reason. I don't know why that was, but I think it was just the bellman, the ring bell timekeeper. Yeah, couldn't think of what that was. And the bell sounded. So it was really odd, but Bayley came to make the save, and Sasha was helped to the back by Bayley and a trainer, and apparently, if the rumors are true, this is supposed to be the first steps to a Sasha heel turn. Enzo and Cass fought a tornado tag team match against Rusev and Jinder Mahal. It was an okay match, and Enzo and Cass winning with the rocket launcher. And then Rollins comes to the ring, and I really hope this didn't mess him up too bad. Comes to the ring after Triple H's amazing promo. And I feel like this entire time he's been gone, he's been practicing that, because that was really strong showing from Triple H, and I really love this mic work here. He gets all set up to fight. Seth Rollins comes down for a fight where he's blindsided by the debuting Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe wrecks Seth Rollins and destroys him in the ring to the point where he has him in the Coquina clutch and is choking him out. But during the scuffle, Seth Rollins got a knee injury, apparently injuring his knee, tearing his MCL, which could put him out to the week before WrestleMania. And I'm really worried that Seth Rollins will not be able to face Triple H. What will happen, I have no idea, but I am really curious to see how they're going to get around this. I just hope that the WWE find a creative way to keep Seth Rollins in this feud. And it's not a work or anything. The Wrestling Observer has said that this is a legitimate injury. So thoughts and prayers sent out to Seth Rollins. Going on to SmackDown Live, which was a less impactful show than it normally is. SmackDown Live is usually killing it, but right now is kind of a lull. The Wyatt family confronted John Cena, and as Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt were going to attack Cena, Luke Harper showed up and Shane McMahon and defended Cena, and Shane McMahon, doing his best Teddy Long impression, made a tag team match that happened right then and there. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton defeated John Cena and Luke Harper in a tag team match. Really interesting dynamic here with Luke Harper not fighting Bray Wyatt, even though he was completely fine with it before for most of the match, and only going in with Randy Orton, so it was essentially a handicap match almost. But when Luke Harper ended up fighting Bray Wyatt, he almost got him into Sister Abigail again. Randy Orton RKO'd him, and then ended up RKOing Cena for the win. And it's announced that next week, John Cena and Randy Orton are going to fight once again. Sorry about that. Carmella defeated Delilah Dawson. The Joel James Ellsworth story continued here. I'm okay with Ellsworth being used here. As long as he's not in the main event angle, I'm fine with Ellsworth being there. I could just fast forward that through Raw. Through SmackDown, I mean. Dolph Ziggler defeated Kalisto, an exact replica, almost, of what happened last week. I don't know why they had to re-show it again in modern time, I guess. Really unnecessary. Why didn't they just do it then, or have Dolph Ziggler fighting a new opponent that's somewhat related to Kalisto, like a random luchador, or Sin Cara, or something involving Apollo Crews, or another squash match. Nobody knows. This match did not have to happen again, and I really hope it doesn't happen next week. Naomi getting a second win on Alexa Bliss, this time in a tag team match, with Naomi and Becky Lynch defeating Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. Setting up a title match between Naomi and Alexa Bliss, which I'm pretty sure is next week. I don't remember what's said on Talking Smack. The tag team champions American Alpha elicited an open challenge, and literally every team of SmackDown came out to the ring. I was really hoping a new tag team would make their debut, but sadly that was not to be. Maybe it might happen next week. But this tag team turmoil match, I'm excited for it, but I also hope they move it to an elimination chamber. Doubt it, but we'll see. And then in the main event of the show, AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose fought in a match. We've seen these two fight a million times before. This time, The Miz and Baron Corbin were both on commentary, along with Maurice, making it a 7,000-man announced team and one woman. So it sounds like a really good time. But the match ended when chaos broke out and Miz and Baron Corbin were fighting. Dean Ambrose laid out both of them, came in the ring and ate a Styles clash. Styles runs away. Miz hits Dean Ambrose. Baron Corbin hits The Miz, and Baron Corbin stands tall at the end of SmackDown. Raw was a better show this week to me, but SmackDown, it might have just been a lull after the Royal Rumble, and I'm going to keep an open mind for next week. So that is the Mixed Nuts review. Well, not the Mixed Nuts Wrestling review. That ended. That's the last video on the Mixed Nuts channel. This is the first ever Wrestle-MaGiC podcast. It's not that long for the first one, but I'm going to go more in depth with it as time goes on. I was just using my notes off of the WWE app. I might have missed a lot of things, like a lot of the backstage segments. But from what I remember, all the shows were really good. SmackDown was at best. But I was really happy throughout the week. There's a lot of wrestling. And on a rate of favorite Rumbles that I've seen, this Rumble, it would be in the top 10 as an overall pay-per-view. The Rumble match itself will maybe not be in the top 10, but still my favorite Rumble as of right now is still, I think, I'm trying to remember which one. Oh, it's the end of 2007. 2007 was a really good Rumble. That was my personal favorite. What was your thoughts on the Rumble and wrestling from this week? Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and like the video if you liked it. What else am I forgetting? Oh, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter at MGC1536. And that's it. I'm going to find a way to wrap this up better and do this more professional next time. But thank you guys so much for watching and staying tuned. And stay tuned to the channel for much more. Let me know if you like the logo or if you have any other ideas for the potential logo. I really like how this is set up. But just let me know. Let me know what you think of the show. Let me know what I can improve on. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you later.